Well, good morning, you guys.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Real Talk with SLR.
How are you guys doing today?
Happy Sunday. Sunday fun day for lots of you guys out there.
Yep. It's been a long weekend.
We worked all weekend.
I still can't believe it's Sunday and not Monday already. You know, it feels like it had dragged out a little bit.
Yeah, today kind of does feel like we skipped over the weekend and like it's a Monday. But it also feels like maybe it should be Saturday or Friday, but it's not. It's okay. We got a lot done, man. We freaking changed the whole feel around here. You guys might notice a little bit, people that know, off on the side right here. The fence is gone.
Yep.
And it's all open now and it looks great. It feels so much bigger out here on this back patio space. And it's crazy because we took away so much of like the yard square footage by reutilizing it and giving it to the dogs over there, sleeping by their dog house. But yeah, we took away a lot of the actual space for like the yard part.
Yep.
But because everything got shifted and moved the way that it did, and we took this fence away and we did this and that and everything, it just feels so much bigger. I really like the utility of this space now. Like I'm really, really digging it.
I think it's gonna be a lot nicer, and you're gonna be able to get grass this next spring.
Yay!
Because that's been a nightmare of trying to get it to grow.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like with the back part is growing really good, you know, like the back part got nice and thick, but this front area where we had the fence separating the concrete from the dirt, the dogs would just run back and forth right there and it just never would grow. So obviously we're not going to get anything until springtime. Like it's not the season for that, but
it's there now.
It's there.
To where we can.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna do a lot of cleanup this fall and this spring, and we're gonna be able to have the 41.36 pretty cleaned up and pretty maintained, and have some pretty nice spots around.
Yeah, come this spring, it's gonna be really spruced up, man. I'm excited for it because, it's kind of hard living in a construction zone 24/7. You don't think about that.
No.
But when you are living where you're building and storing materials and raising kids and having animals and all this stuff, things get pretty crazy pretty quickly.
It does.
Without you even realizing. And I mean, we're tidy people, but it just happens so fast.
It happens, but it's really, really nice that we're going to be able to get everything rolling and going, and in the fall and the winter time is like the best time to go out and get a lot of the, outdoor stuff taken care of.
Oh, like cut your trails and stuff like that?
Cut the trails, cleaning up all the dead trees and
get all the fallen
branches
trees that have
and
fallen.
Stacking up your firewood for the winter and all that fun stuff,
Well, you'd want to stack up your firewood before the winter.
Well, yes, but
so fall time like now, but
no. But I mean, in all reality wise, it's if you do it in the fall time and you do enough to where it's like you already have the year's worth, and then now what you're doing in the fall is like it's next year's as well as backup for that year and everything else. That would be ideal, you know. But you're literally cleaning wood and doing all that stuff as much as possible throughout that time,
We want to have a big fire out here to get rid of some of, all of those limbs from the big tree that was right here are still just on the garden tier area.
Yeah.
And we definitely need to burn that. We've got a lot of brush and stuff that we need to burn, but we've been under a burn ban out here because it's been so dry.
So dry.
So we're praying for some rain for us. Hopefully in another week or so, we'll have the burn ban lifted because if I remember correctly, by the end of this month, it gets pretty cold.
It does, but it's still the biggest thing is the water. Everything needs to get rained on a couple of times.
Oh no, I understand that. I'm saying we will actually want to have a fire by the end of this month, whether we can or not. That's a different story. But we'll actually want it like all summer long. We're just like it's so hot. We're like you don't even want to think about a fire.
No, yeah, you're like no.
No, but in the fall time, I would say through spring, we get several really good fire seasons where we want to hang out by a fire and you know.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
I love a campfire. The smell, you know, the crackling,
everything.
the glow,
all of it, right?
the chillness. It really sets the vibe. So,
but it's becoming that beautiful time of the year, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful time of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm super happy that we were able to get that situated.
Yes, guys, it's such a huge weight lifted off of our backs now. And no, the dogs aren't going to just sit in there. The dogs never just sit in one particular place. We do take them out on walks and we do let them, you know, go exploring with us and stuff. But at least now we can literally put our heads down at the pillow and sleep well at night, knowing that they're not
going to
escape grand adventure somewhere.
Or, you know, come out in the morning to have my morning coffee and be like, you know, look and check out the dogs and be like, where are the dogs?
Yeah, where'd they go?
Why are they in the backyard? What the heck?
Our neighbors are really cool, but, you know, I don't want them going over there and messing up their stuff that they got. That's not right, you know?
No.
I wouldn't want my neighbors' dogs roaming over here. I don't want my dogs roaming over there.
100%.
You know, so.
100%.
Yeah.
So that's where, you know, it is what it is, you know, and we weren't really anticipating on having this many dogs, but, you know, you can't say, you know, no when, you know, they're Louie and Layla, you know, they're the ones I'm mainly talking about. All the other dogs we planned.
We could have. We didn't even make any attempts to try to rehome them. We
but
didn't. Like, honestly, we didn't. We just fell in love with them right away. And we were like, well, we got all this property. Why not? You know? And I'm happy that we have them because, you know what? They bring a little bit of new life around here. They're still puppies, right? And we got all of our old crusty seniors up here. And let's face it, they're not going to be around forever.
No.
You know? So, like, I have a feeling that sadly in the next few years we're going to start losing some dogs. Like Lucy, I love Lucy so much. She's our first actually we got Lucy together before we had Julia, you know.
Oh.
And so anyway, she's getting up there in age. She's still spry though. Like she's still
our three other dogs are old. Lucy, Lady, and Lola. They're all.
But Lady's the type that should live for a while longer. I'll probably get like another decade out of her.
But Lucy and Lola are definitely, they're getting to that point, unfortunately.
But Lola and Lucy both have lots of life in them, you know. Yes. We're going to give them the best quality of life that we possibly can and see them through all the way.
Mm-hmm. And now they've got a bigger yard to run around and play in.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's... it just makes it that much nicer.
Yeah, you know? Like before our older dogs, right? They'd only be able to go out of this space with us, like whenever we took them out on walks. And mostly because Lucy is like deaf and she's like half blind. So if we do let her leave this area, she'll wander off and she'll be gone, you know? She'll be gone. She's already scared the heck out of us by doing that a couple of times. And so we were like, nope, you're done.
You need to be in the cage and you need to be, in this area, fence somewhere, you know, because
you need to be contained.
You need to be contained because,
she gets wandering, she gets a sniff, you know, and then she just follows her nose.
Don't need her to be a coyote or a bear turd, you know.
No,
or a bobcat
that would be horrible.
Something like that.
No.
I mean.
No.
So
it gives her a much better quality of life, being able to have this area more accessible to her all the time, you know, whenever.
Mm-hmm.
And, same thing with Lola and Lady. Like Lola yesterday was hilarious because we were like finishing up stuff over there for the wire. Gary was like pounding in like the grounding rod and stuff like that. And we had a big mess over here and we were finishing. Anyway, Louie and Layla and Luna were all laying underneath the trampoline. And so once we removed this fence area, the senior dogs, they were like, oh, a new yard to go into. So they went in there and everybody sniffed each other. And then they all decided where they were going to lay at, right? And so, like I said, our other three, they were all laying underneath the trampoline in the shade. Lady comes and sits right next to me. Lucy comes and looks at me, walks out to me, sniffs me, and then comes back and lays on the couch. And then Lola is just wandering around the yard like, well, where do I go? What do I do? You know? And then she like does a couple of circles around the trampoline. And like all the dogs just like look at her like, where are you gonna go, you know? And then Lola just like kind of like huffs and scruffs or whatever, and she comes to the front and then she lays down, does like a full like dirt bath, right? Lays and like gives herself a full on bath in the dirt. And then she picks a spot right in the bright sunshine, like on some sticks. I'm like, how is that comfortable? But she was, and she was just loving it right there on the sticks. And her tongue was like all the way out. I mean, I'm talking dripping. And she was just like, just the biggest smile on her face. And I was just like, okay. But she didn't want to be in the shade. It was hot too. I was surprised that she didn't go underneath in the shade. No, she picked like the most uncomfortable, right in the sun spot and loved every second of it. I was like, okay.
That sounds like Lola.
It was It was totally a Lola thing.
That sounds like Lola.
It was totally Lola.
It's just like in the desert, she'd be sitting out in doing her dirt bath.
Yep.
And then just sitting out there in the sun.
Yeah.
What
panting,
the heck,
and you're
dude?
like, dude, you're hot, and she's just loving it. She laid on her back, and she let her belly get a good suntan too. I was like, okay, I see you, girl. She's like, oh, I'm tired of this concrete. I want the dirt, because like we said, the 3 seniors, they only had that little patch of dirt that we kind of left them to use as their bathroom. Which I'm happy that's not a situation anymore either. Now it's not going to be so close to us.
That's going to be nice.
Although we still have to come out and take care of it daily, But at least it's not going to be like so close to us anymore. It's over there now, which isn't as bad.
It's pretty nice, man. I'm still trying to get used to it, to be quite honest. I'm like looking over and like,
I know. Well, we finished
double takes all the time.
It took us 2 solid days, man, because the first day Gary had to take out so many of the T-posts and like switch things around. And then we had to move the shed, and we had to do the whole thing with moving the shed. It was like the Amish barn raising when everybody picks it up and then just moves the whole building. That's essentially what me and Gary and Julia with the dolly did.
Yep.
And but we had to do the whole. It only has a rock foundation, so we had to like dig up all the rock that we had.
All the rock and relay it.
Yeah, it was a lot. But I'm happy that we did it. It took us 2 solid days to do all the T-post stuff, to wire the sucker, to move the shed. And then the next day was kind of like
finishing up the wiring and the rest of the T-posts. And I was dying.
Being able to turn it on.
My hand.
Oh, poor Gary.
That was the one that exploded and blew up in the midst of doing it all.
I know that hurts.
I got some on my pinkies and right there. Ended up having to pop them. I know you're not supposed to pop them, but I had to because they were that like blistered and it was just hurt and like it was just like, oh my goodness, dude, it feels like they're gonna explode. Like I need to take care of it before that, and like, all right, disinfect the needle, do all this back and forth.
At least that way you could like bandage it before it like pops and then you're out somewhere else and now you don't know what's in it.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It'd be like that one right there. That one hurts.
No bueno. Not a fun time.
But I'm glad that's done.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's over with.
No, I'm happy it's done too. There's still some stuff that we're going to do. There's always still more. But wait, there's more.
There's always more.
As you guys can tell by looking in the background, we were not able to side the doghouse yet, just because by the time that we finished doing everything we were doing yesterday and getting it actually shocking and stuff and turned on and things moved around. Our neighbor came over and visited with us for a little while. And then literally right as he left, Mike and Lissa came over because we had plans with them to come over and have a barbecue, let the kids hang out. The kids have been whining us to death. When? So
it was a good time. We had some barbecue.
Which Gary
get the
was
grill
amazing
going on
with
that.
it. Gary cooked so good. It was so delicious.
That was some fire chicken, man.
Yeah.
Had some chicken leg thighs or whatever, chicken quarters.
Yep.
Dude.
And they were the homegrown ones from, the Cornish ones that we grew. And it was Mike's first time ever having homegrown backyard chicken. And he was like, it tastes like chicken. I'm like, I told you, man, it's chicken.
It's the way to go.
Yeah, and actually it's way more healthy for you and stuff. And like we know how they lived, how they ended their life, and how they were processed, and how the whole thing was done. So
it
was really good to be able to share with our friends, some of our hard work and have them check everything out and kids play. And it was a really good night last night.
It was a good time.
It was a really good time. We literally just chilled and hung out and talked.
Yeah.
Me and Lissa, we filed down our claws quite a bit because I couldn't stand it anymore. I was complaining about it yesterday, like at the end. I was like, oh, And I still got them, right? I still got them. They still look really pretty, but now I can actually make a fist again. I'm like, thank goodness I can actually make a fist. That means I can turn wrenches and I could work again without feeling like I'm, disabled or something with the grips.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't do well just pinching stuff with my thumb and it doesn't work.
I still don't understand those long fingernails.
Hey, to each their own, but
I'm just saying, like the very long. You guys know what?
Yeah, the ones that are like
long
that
ones, or even like just ever so, right? Especially those ones with like a point and everything else. It makes you sit there and scratch your head because it's like you sit there and you think to yourself anytime I see that, I'm like, you do know you got to go to the bathroom, right?
There's a technique to it.
I'm just saying, right? All right.
Yeah. There's a technique.
I don't understand it. I don't get it.
But I'll tell you what.
As a guy, I will never understand it or whatever. All right. But there ain't no Boy Scout toilet paper one ply aspect with that. All right. I'm just saying.
Ew. I will just say that I also agree with that, and that's why I got them so short now. That's why I got them like right at the tip of my fingers. But you're really good friends when you can invite people over, the kids will just play, and then for real we'll do jack squat, but sit around and talk and file your nails and have the best time doing it.
That wasn't a file. That was a Dremel. All right. A Dremel with the diamond blade freaking like disc on it. Well, what the like straight up Dremeling your fingernails. Like, what the heck, dude? Like,
it's the acrylic, all right. It's the acrylic. Anyway. But you're good friends when you can have the best time doing absolutely squat, just sitting around.
Yep.
Talking.
It was a good time.
Filing your nails.
It was a good time. It was super fun.
But yeah, it was really nice. Gary got to grill.
Yep.
And we had a great time. The kids had a great time. We got to have them have their opinion on all this. Lissa actually helped me move the trampoline. Mm-hmm. And at the bitter end, because we had lent Mike the gas-powered T-post driver.
Yep.
And so, like, at the very end of our day, like I said, the neighbor had come over, and then Mike and Lissa came over, and we were like, all right, we're basically done. Gary had this spot to put in, which was for the grounding rod, and that sucker would not go in no matter how much he, like, pounded it. So it was like, thank you, Mike, for coming and bringing it. Cause it was
as far as I could, with my hands being the way that they are. Yeah. And that last one, I only had it in, like, maybe, like, this much.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And they're 8-foot grounding rods.
Yeah, they're big.
So
they're big.
I was like, I need to at least get half of this thing in there, you know?
So it was nice when he showed up with the tool, though, because I was of no use. I was like, if Gary can't do it, even with his hands in that condition, Gary being in that condition is like my maximum strength, right? So I'm like, I know that if Gary is having a hard time doing it, that all I'm going to do is blow my back out. So I'm not trying to go over there and mess with that. Yeah. So I felt bad because I was like, you got this, baby. But yeah.
My hands.
He did, though. He did.
And we got that thing up there, and we got that thing in there. Pretty much. I was only able to go halfway. I have a feeling I'm hitting roots or a big freaking boulder or whatever.
Don't you remember what's underneath this?
Oh, I know. It's shell. And crap tons of shell.
Yeah.
So, and apparently, shell is like the best foundations type thing aside from like rock, like bedrock.
Caliche,
in a sense,
granite.
Well, like that aspect, right?
Yeah,
but it's like if you're backfilling or if you're doing anything like that, shell's the way to go because the way it interlocks all together with the layers and everything else, and it's rock.
Yeah.
And it's just multiple layers of rock. And I have a feeling I hit a thicker rock or something.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, I remember when we were digging out the footers over here, there's a lot of rock over here. That's all I got to say. Like, there's definitely rock. So I have a feeling that's what you were hitting with the grounding rod. But yeah, I was happy that he was able to bring the tool. You were able to get her done and set her all up. And I tell you what, Louie and Luna and Layla have not even tested that wire that we've seen. Not once. They've kind of been sulking a little bit. They are sulking. They're
so we got them in there, right? And as soon as we got them in there, I turned it on, and we're hearing it go, tink, tink, tink.
Yeah,
and
you
I'm
just
all,
hear that ever so slight
dang,
pulse.
all right, that thing's definitely on, and I'm touching the fence trying to, like, check because it's me, right? I'm
So
like,
I gotta know.
it ain't going. It ain't doing anything off of this. And I'm like touching other parts. I'm like, ooh, I got it here. You know, everything else is this way, that way. And I was like, okay, well, I guess something's tripping it and making it not be live everywhere. So I walk around, I'm looking and looking and looking, and then on the corner, way over there, where we have the corner insulators and whatnot, I forgot to snip one of the welded wires around one of it, so it was touching that, and that was the pink, pink, pink. And like I touched the fence and pushed it away a little bit, and there was a freaking like a shock, like you could see it. It was white, like pink, and it hit the fence while I'm holding it, and I was like, "You guys know, okay." I was like, "All right, let me go turn it off real quick. Let me pop that guy off real quick," and yeah. After I did that, everything worked perfectly. But
I knew you'd figure it out.
I was sitting there like scratching my head. I'm like, why isn't it? What the heck?
Yeah.
It should, like, even if it's grounding out a little bit here or there, it should still give me something.
Well, whenever you're figuring out stuff like that, it does take a little bit more time and a little bit more doing than just setting up T-post and like this welded wire stuff, right? So although it was like a 2-day job to get it, you know, actually shocking, I knew you'd be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's really not that bad. Considering all that we had to do, like, I'm amazed with how different it is 2 days ago.
Yeah.
You know?
And
are you going to get that fly?
I, of course, set it up my way in the sense of, you know, making it really nice and easy to be able to go in and out and shut it off and just ease of use. And I feel like it was a professional.
Of course, because you did it. It's great.
I feel that.
You did an awesome job. It looks great. I'll be able to show you guys up close in person on this, hopefully sometime today, maybe towards this afternoon. I'm already working on editing out the video and getting it up on our channel for you guys. I do have some other stuff that was recorded previous to this, obviously, that I will be releasing, I guess, later on during the week, maybe Tuesday or something, depending on how the edits and stuff go. So that's what's going to be coming out on our channel, I guess, soon. We did get some work done with Drew's lens, you know, and earlier on in the week, and then we also got all this stuff done. So I'm going to try to get some of this stuff out for you guys, like today and then throughout the week. And then this week coming up, we have a lot of work to do because we are going to work on the mudroom. And I have a feeling that once we spend a day on it, like, we're going to get...
It's going to go...
I feel like all of the walls are going to be done in a day. It's going to take us another day to mount all the windows and the door. And then it's going to take, like, another day.
I don't even want to mount the windows and the doors until they do the roof.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, like, I'm just counting days and was going from bottom up.
Is something to fall and go shing right through a window.
100% agree. We're not going to even mount the window and the door until, like,
mount them until later.
The roof is done. I was just counting the days, right? Yes. So a day for the walls, a day for the mounting, maybe 2 days for the roof, 2 to 3, depending on how long it takes us, because one day might be you figuring it all out.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? The angles and the cuts and stuff. The next day might be us prepping and getting all that work cut out and getting it set, right? And then the third day would be us setting it. So that's what, 5 days? And then that's it. Because after that, then it's done. Because there's not much else to do after that.
It shouldn't take that long.
So...
It really, honestly, I've already got all of my measurements together.
Yeah.
The only measurements that we're going to need...
Not for the roof.
Well, no. The only thing I'm going to need measurement-wise is the cripples for the windows and for the door, which that's going to take me 2 seconds to do the door. And the windows, we're just going to have to figure out exactly where that door header comes into play.
Yeah.
And then I can mess with the numbers.
We could just do like one giant header for that whole wall. Just do the whole wall a header.
No,
Save
unfortunately. We can't do that. But
why?
But I've already got all the numbers together for the headers.
Okay.
So because all of the studs in it is literally king studs or the end wall studs, once we get the headers in, done and everything else like that and put the king studs in, that thing's going to get, like, literally just...
Yeah.
It's up.
Well, that's why
There's that.
I was sitting here
There's that.
counting on my
There's
fingers.
that.
I was like, realistically, if it would take us 5 working days. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to be able to have the time with juggling family and a homestead to consecutively work like that while editing videos, and Gary's got hunting days planned and all this stuff. Would we like to? Yes, but is it realistic? Probably not, just because that's not how life works.
No.
However, I would say before the end of this month, it should be done 100%. We're not even we should be done and moved on to something else by the end of this month.
Yes.
So I don't know. I'm very, 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 very excited with how everything is going. It's going. I couldn't ask for anything better right now. I'm in a really happy spot.
No, it's coming together really nicely.
Yeah.
It was somewhat of a headache that we had to deal with that right away. However, I don't want my dogs running around.
No.
You know, and getting out or anything else like that. I want to be able to manage them and manage all the animals, you know, easily and simply.
And get the goats to integrate back together with the other ones.
That too, but if they're all managed correct, like, you know, and good to where they shouldn't be getting into things, they shouldn't be doing this or that, right? It's just like the kids, right? Get them all on a list, right? It makes it to where when we do go to work on the house, it's a lot more.
We're not having to divert our focus.
We're working all this instead of getting in a good rhythm for like an hour and a half, and then it's like, son of a gun, the dog got out.
Yeah.
And having to get over, do this, do that, and it's like it doesn't hinder things as much.
Well, it's hard enough with kids, right? It's hard enough because that's always going to be an obstacle. You'll get into a good rhythm, and then, oh, they're looking at me, Mom.
Yep.
Or I'm hungry, or I want this, something. Or, you know, like, but that's okay, and it is what it is, and we're blessed to be in the position that we're in to be able to enjoy all of those things. So,
but I'm excited because that makes it so nice. A huge headache and burden in that aspect is off our shoulders.
Listen, and I love how this fencing is gone. It was always meant to be temporary. Like, it was never this fence right here by the concrete and the dirt. It was never intended to be permanent.
No.
It's always been like for this reason and this season. And that season is behind us now. And I'm happy that we have it all open. It changes how the whole feel. It makes it so much bigger. Like
that much closer and further. Now, whether or not that fencing is going to stay there, I don't know.
I don't know how long it'll be. It might just be for another season.
It might be.
I mean, you never know. But right now, I feel like it's going to stay that way for a while.
It's pretty nice. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
So.
But we got some stuff we got to get going on today, friends. I need to hop on the computer and get some stuff edited out for Simple Life Reclaimed for you guys today. I was on a really good roll, and Gary came back from his blind, and I was like, oh, well, you know what? Let's pop in and chit-chat with the folks real quick, and then we can get back to what we're doing. So we're going to do that. But I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today and watching today's episode of Real Talk with SLR. We got some more stuff coming down the pipe for you guys, so make sure to have your notifications turned on. We'll be back on Simple Life Reclaimed with any luck today. I'm hoping that I'll be able to finish it and get it out for you guys today, so you guys won't be waiting forever. And then we'll see what else we can get into for later on the week. But I'm long-winded. You guys know this. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. And until the next one, friends, we love y'all, and we hope you have a good one.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, you guys.
Later.